Good morning, everybody. This is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee and Appalachia to bring you common sense, logic, truth, honesty, justice, and the American way. Yes, sir. Those concepts that a Democrat member of a Democrat party has never heard of. This guy that's running for the Senate seat up in Maine, I think he won the primary, Democrat primary, lies every breath. But that's what Democrats do. They lie every breath. Lie, lie, lie. That's all they do. Those Marxist, communist members of the Democrat Party. It's just absolutely amazing. But today, I want to talk about one of the worst traitorous acts in American history against our own military personnel, the sorry, low-down people we have in Washington, D.C. won't even stand behind their own military personnel. Especially when they're Democrats and rhinos. They're just sorry, low-class, gutter-living trash is all they are. And this is a perfect example. We had a spy ship in the Mediterranean back in the 1960s and 70s. It was a spy ship called the USS Liberty. And all it did was sail around the Mediterranean, picking up radio signals and communications between countries, and especially any communication between Russian ships in the Mediterranean. And they were off the coast of Israel when Israel went to war against Syria and Egypt. And I think Sadat was the military leader in Egypt. At that time, he wasn't president of Egypt yet. He was just a military leader. Sadat, he later became president of Egypt. But anyway, they were kicking the crap out of the Israeli army there across the Suez Canal, and the Israelis were not doing too well, but they were taking a lot of POWs, Egyptian POWs, and Tel Aviv sent a communique out. We cannot keep POWs. Shoot them on the spot. Murder them. Kill them. Dig a hole in the sand and bury them. Tel Aviv communicated to their military commanders at the front, shoot all POWs. And then Tel Aviv realized there's this United States spy ship out there, and they picked this communication up. They recorded it. And Israel could not stand for the world to find out that they had ordered their military commanders to shoot all POWs, prisoners of war. And Israel sent a couple of fighter planes out to sink the USS Liberty. And they shot up some of the crewmen, killed a few, and but they couldn't sink the ship. So Israel sent out 3 kind of like PT boats with torpedoes to sink USS Liberty. And my understanding is they shot about 7 torpedoes at the USS Liberty, any one of which is supposed to sink the Liberty. 6 of them missed, and one of them hit, and it hit right in near one of the radio rooms that had quite a few crewmen in there, and about 20-something men died in this torpedo explosion. But the crew on the USS Liberty were able to shut off that part of the ship and stop the flooding, and they were able to save their ship. And the USS Liberty radioed back. We had an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean, and when Israeli planes first came out to try to sink them, they radioed the U.S. Navy and this aircraft carrier group that they were being attacked, and this aircraft carrier set off a couple of fighter planes to go and protect the USS Liberty. And about halfway there, President Johnson was president this time, so this was in the 1960s. And Johnson, his top admiral in Washington, D.C. was this McCain, Admiral McCain, who was the father of John McCain, who later ran for president against Obama in 2008. And John McCain was a man of very low character, and so was his father. And Lyndon Johnson and this Admiral McCain ordered those 2 American planes, fighter planes, back to the aircraft carrier. Do not go and defend the USS Liberty. And they would not let any of the American ships or airplanes in the Mediterranean to protect the USS Liberty. Basically, Lyndon Johnson, Admiral McCain, who was John McCain's father, just wrote off the USS Liberty and the entire crew. Let the Israelis kill them all and sink it. But that crew wasn't going to put up with that. They fought hard. They saved their ship. They got it to port in Malta, where they, when the crew got the ship, the USS Liberty, at port in Malta, they were met by CIA and officers of the U.S. government, FBI, and all these people, and that entire crew was taken into custody, and they were not allowed to speak about anything that they were doing, and the crew had to sign non-disclosure documents. Basically said if they opened their mouth, they would all go to prison. They'd be put in solitary confinement in military prisons for the rest of their lives. So they had to keep their mouths shut about what happened to the USS Liberty. This was Lyndon Johnson, traitor, American traitor, Marxist communist traitor, amazingly corrupt, evil man. And John McCain's father, Admiral McCain, another corrupt, evil man. His son, John, wasn't any better. He was a traitor, rhino traitor. Just an absolutely terrible man. and they covered up this knowledge that they had about Tel Aviv, telling their frontline officers to shoot all POWs, just murder them on the spot. We don't want to fool with them. We don't have places for them, and just shoot them. You know, evil people at that time running Israel and the United States. Evil people. And Lyndon Johnson, Admiral McCain, evil, sorry, low class, trash, who didn't care about the sailors on the USS Liberty. And when they were courageous and strong enough to save their ship and get it back to port, then they made them all sign non-disclosure agreements for the rest, to keep quiet about what happened. And it was after, I think after the year 2000 before any of these men came forward and talked about what happened to the USS Liberty. We have some sorry-ass people in Washington, D.C. who are traitorous to our soldiers who took the oath to uphold the Constitution, in which Lyndon Johnson did the same thing, so did Admiral McCain. But those oaths don't mean a thing to these sorry rhinos and Democrat, Marxist, Communist, Socialist. It's just absolutely sickening how the Democrat Party behaves. It's just amazing how corrupt and crooked and evil they are toward their own sailors and soldiers when they fight for their survival, and they won't let any of the aircraft or planes help them. You're on your own, boys. We're just going to let the Israelis just wipe you out and sink your ship. That's the way Lyndon Johnson, these Democrats behave. That's the way they are. They are evil, anti-America, just like Obama bringing 70,000 Somalis in and parking them right there in the middle of Minneapolis. Traitorous, anti-American, slimeball, gutter snipes. That's all they are. Men like Obama and Johnson and Admiral McCain. These are evil men who don't stand up for their own sailors and soldiers. It's sorry what they do. And that was the USS Liberty. And the crewmen finally got to come forward, tell the truth. They held a reunion, and they spoke openly of what happened to the USS Liberty. And you won't find this history in your high school or college textbooks about how evil and sorry men like Lyndon Johnson, Admiral McCain, people like that are. It just will not tell the truth about the evil that these men do to our own people, to their own people they took an oath to protect, and then just throw them under the bus. But buddy, those men on the USS Liberty, the survivors, and there was about 20-something dead, I don't know, 20 or 30-something wounded, and the men that were still able to work saved that ship and got it into port. It was just absolutely amazing, the courage of these men on the USS Liberty. And hopefully someday a president will recognize their courage and their ability to fight for American ships, fight for American prestige, and survive the evil that comes out of Washington, D.C. sometimes. But these were great men on the USS Liberty, a spy ship. Even though they were ignored, no help sent to them, they were able to survive, get their ship to port, and then the government forced them to keep their mouths shut for 30-something years before they were able to come out and talk about what happened to the USS Liberty. And that's the kind of crap you put up with when you get evil people in D.C. Anybody in the Democrat Party should not be voted for. They should not be elected to anything. These people are evil, anti-American, trash, who steal our treasury, steal our prestige, steal our greatness. It's just absolutely amazing how cruel and evil they can be. But the men aboard the USS Liberty are great, great Americans who survived the crap that comes out of D.C. Great men, and that ship should be remembered forever, the USS Liberty, a spy ship in the Mediterranean that Lyndon Johnson and Admiral McCain turned their backs on them when they needed help, wouldn't let them have any help, but they rose to the occasion, saved their ship, got it into port, and then they had to agree to never say a word. But finally they did. They come out and told what happened. And evil Israelis murdering those Egyptian POWs, those Syrian POWs, ordered to just shoot them on the spot, not take them prisoner. Just absolutely evil in the world, ignoring the Geneva Conventions and the rules of war. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian bringing you the truth that you will not find in your college or high school textbooks. You have to come to the hillbilly historian to get common sense, truth, honesty, justice, and the American way. And this is your hillbilly historian signing off on the